So, how did the search for World War II submarines end up uncovering hidden volcanoes beneath the ocean? Well, let's dive into this fascinating story. Oh, and before moving forward, if you're new to the channel or, haven't subscribed yet, then do subscribe to our channel and enjoy loads of informative content. Amid the search for enemy submarines, Navy researchers detected something much bigger: underwater volcanic mountains rising from the seafloor. During World War II, oceanographer Harry Hess and his crew, aboard the USS Cape Johnson, scoured the western Pacific Ocean in search of enemy submarines. By timing echoes generated by sonar pings, or sound waves, they measured the depth of the ocean in hopes of finding minor discrepancies in data that might indicate a submarine's presence. But those readings also revealed something much bigger: seamounts, or underwater volcanic mountains rising more than 1,000 meters, or about 3,300 feet from the seafloor. The vast information Hess and his team collected laid the foundation for continued seafloor exploration. With Hess's data as a starting point, American geologists Marie Tharp and Bruce Heezen published some of the first detailed maps of the ocean floor in the 1950s and 60s. They provided visual evidence for what became Hess's theory of seafloor spreading, in which tectonic plates in the Earth move apart at mid-ocean ridges and form new crust. It helps explain geologic phenomena, ranging from continental drift to earthquakes to the formation of mountains. It was a paradigm shift in our understanding of Earth processes, says Larry Mayer, professor and director of the Center for Coastal and Ocean Mapping at the University of New Hampshire. It was the first time one theory really explained almost all of the processes we see in the ocean and on land. So, as British explorer James Clark Ross set out to chart the Antarctic coastline back in 1840, he actually made some of the earliest attempts to measure how deep the ocean really was. But, without advanced technology, these measurements were often pretty inaccurate. At first, scientists would try to figure out the seafloor's depth by lowering a weighted hemp rope over the side of their ships and just measuring its length. Then, in 1872, a newly invented piano wire sounding system came along, making those calculations a whole lot quicker and, honestly, way more reliable. Systematic efforts to map the seafloor kept going during the British-led 1,000-day voyage of the HMS Challenger. Besides providing all this new data about marine life and the physical and chemical conditions of the deep sea, the expedition's findings even hinted at a mountain chain dividing the eastern and western halves of the Atlantic Ocean. Certainly before they developed acoustic soundings, which is basically sonar, there was a lot of uncertainty in the depth of the seafloor because, honestly, the methods just weren't good enough, says Heidi Dearson, who's a marine sciences professor at the University of Connecticut. Once they discovered that they could use the speed of sound pretty accurately, it really revolutionized our understanding of Earth itself. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the use of acoustic sounding systems actually began during World War I, and the Coast and Geodetic Survey was regularly using sonar to map deep water areas by the 1920s. During World War II, the United States paused most of its seafloor mapping efforts. The exception came when Hess, then a young Princeton University professor, joined the United States Navy as captain of the USS Cape Johnson. Equipped with the latest sonar technology, Hess was able to collect an unprecedented amount of data, rapidly and around the clock, as he and his crew searched for enemy submarines. It allowed for continuous pings in the water as the ship moved around different places, says John Orcutt, geophysics professor at Scripps Institution of Oceanography at the University of California, San Diego, and former United States Navy submariner. So, you started getting a two-dimensional view of what the seafloor looked like. Until the war, scientists largely believed the ocean floor was a flat, unchanging plain, a dumping ground slowly filled by sediments eroding from land, Tharp wrote in a 1999 book. But Hess encountered these really large geological features, including deep sea trenches, and get this, about 160 seamounts between the Hawaiian and Mariana Islands. He called them Guyos, naming them after Swiss geographer Arnold Guyot, who actually founded Princeton's geology department way back in the mid-1800s. This discovery, honestly, just led to even more questions about how the seafloor might be moving. So, the United States started launching more deep-sea expeditions, beginning in the late 1940s. Tharp, who started working at the Lamont Geological Observatory, now called the Lamont Doherty Earth Observatory at Columbia University, in 1948, became famous for drawing comprehensive maps of the seafloor. Her colleague, geologist Bruce Heezen, collected the data for these maps aboard research ships. And you know, because of her gender, Tharp wasn't actually allowed on those ships at first. She didn't get to go on a research cruise herself until 1968. Tharp and Heezen published a comprehensive map of the Atlantic Ocean in 1957, and then, by 1977, they released the first detailed world map of the ocean floor. We continued on, from one sounding to the next, and one ocean to the next, Tharp wrote. We weren't daunted by the tens of thousands of soundings we had to plot. Their maps showed the existence of volcanic mountain chains extending over 40,000 miles worldwide, laying the foundation for the theory of plate tectonics. As Dearson explains, the ocean has these areas that form brand new crust. We call them mid-ocean ridges in the Atlantic. When you create brand new crust, you have to get rid of old crust, or else the Earth would expand. The older, denser plates descend into the Earth's mantle at subduction zones, which are, characterized by these really deep ocean trenches. Tharp's maps were widely circulated in scientific communities and published in National Geographic, which actually commissioned Austrian artist Heinrich C. Behrens to reproduce map paintings of the ocean floor. The Hartford Courant described the maps in 1968 as a geological oceanographic landmark, which will be of inestimable value to future submariners, while it unveils another of Earth's mysteries. Modern mapping techniques, including high-resolution multi-beam sonar, offer scientists a three-dimensional picture of the deep sea, Mayer says. As of June 2024, about 26% of the ocean floor is currently mapped. But as technology advances, scientists continue making discoveries that are vital for predicting natural disasters and understanding a multitude of phenomena across the planet. But as technology advances, scientists continue making discoveries that are vital for predicting natural disasters and understanding a multitude of phenomena across the planet. If you like our content, then do like the video, share, and subscribe to our channel.